touch on, the bit of your upbringing and where you've come from? Because like I said, it would be very helpful to our audience.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. Well, my background, I grew up in poverty and primarily to a single mother. My father was around, but not very much. So my mother had the bulk of the responsibility to raise us 4 children. And we grew up in the United States. We have something called housing projects where all of the poor people live who are pretty much dependent on government assistance. And so that was the story of my life, almost my entire life. In fact, we were on government welfare until I was about 15 years old. And it was at that time where, my mother was able to remove herself and remove the family from the dependency of government assistance. And we were a little bit more self-sufficient, but still probably considered in the below the poverty line. And long story short, one of my saving graces was my mother. Even though we were poor, I never knew it in a lot of ways. Until about high school is when I realized that, there's some different classes of people, financially, economically. And but I could say, to my mother's credit, she made sure that we were exposed to a lot of things. So I was exposed to programs for dance and principal scholars programs and National Honor Society, science fairs, spelling bees, like you name it, everything my mother could get me in for free, the gifted program and all those different types of things that were available. My mother ensured that I would have access. Music programs, I was very involved in music, which gave me a great, well-rounded foundation, because then it led to me excelling academically to where I was able to be blessed with a full academic scholarship to the University of Missouri, Columbia. And so that was the foundation of my early years leading into my collegiate career or experiences. And I started out originally thinking that I was going to be a mechanical engineer. That was my dream. And it was only because financially I knew that engineers made a lot of money, but that was not my purpose. And I also received Christ into my life at the age of 14. So I knew enough of a little bit, especially when I got to college. I knew enough to really pray and seek God, asking him for direction for my life, because I was failing engineering miserably, just terribly. I hated it. I was bored to death, bored to tears. And so that was not my purpose. It was something that I didn't enjoy. It didn't come naturally for me. It was very dreadful for me to pursue.
I can imagine.
Yeah. So I lost my scholarship for 2 semesters, and that God got my attention. And that's when I really started to seek him about what am I supposed to do? And then that's how I ended up switching my college major from engineering to business.
Interesting.
So from there, ended up getting a bachelor's, two bachelor's degrees in business, and the master's degree in organizational management, which is a business degree, and which later eventually led to me teaching as an adjunct professor of entrepreneurship at City Vision University. So that's kind of the course, and all this time later on, after my career in corporate America, I had always kind of had a side business, even while working, but then ventured out into my own full-time business.
Okay.